Hey guys, so I'm here with my '07 Taurus, and I'm going to be explaining to you guys as fast as I can uh, what's been going on with it and what I had to do, what I had to deal with, blah, blah, blah. We're trying to be on the road to recovery, with this Taurus. We're trying to, restore it and get it back up, to its as healthy, as we can get it. We're trying. I did a video, I did a video before, like a couple of weeks ago, and I do not know where that footage is. You know what I'm saying? In that video, that clip, I was talking about some stuff that I needed to be done under the hood and blah, blah. The first thing I had to do was replace this clip for my airbox, because this piece right here that clamps it down, it broke. Saying this piece was still intact, but for some reason, somehow, this piece, know what I'm saying, that clamps onto the top part, it snapped off and it broke somehow, right? So that's one thing I had to replace, and one thing I had to do. The other thing I had to do was, y'all see this cable right here? This connects to the negative battery terminal. So the ring terminal that I had on it before, somehow it ended up snapping out, but the terminal, this part right here was still clamped down. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of clamp down, I might have to use my crimper and crimp it down, make sure it's 100% more secure. But I had to get a new ring terminal and replace it. Now, I don't think I secured it 100%, but right now it's good. I still need to get my crimper and my crimper tool and crimp it down some more. Now, something else I'm gonna show y'all that I've been dealing with. This right here is the ground wire, right, for the camshaft position sensor, right, which is, camshaft is right here, under here. So what happened was, the ground wire, I did a video on this, but I have no idea what that video clip is. But the ground wire for the camshaft position sensor, as y'all can see, so I put a splitter butt connector to connect the new wire, because I purchased a brand new harness for the camshaft position sensor. So I took that part and then I attached it to the existing ground wire that was on the firewall, right? So I put the split butt connector on it, tugged it, and it was nice and sturdy. You know what I'm saying? So for somehow it's the ground wire snapped off of the firewall, and when I looked under the hood, only a little piece was still connected from the ground wire that was connected to the firewall. Only a little piece was still connected to the splitter butt connector, right? So what I had to do, I had to find, they recommend a red barrel with a 3/8 inch ring hole. That's what they recommend for the Ford Taurus. But I went to O'Reilly's and they didn't have the exact size that I needed, so I kind of had to make it work best I can. You know what I'm saying? So I end up purchasing this ring terminal and I grounded it. Okay, I grounded it to the body of the engine. I found a bolt, which is a 12mm bolt. You gotta use a 12mm socket to, loosen it up and take it out. So I found a bolt on the engine, or a spot on the engine itself, And sometimes here's what happened on these Taurus. When the ground wire is connected to the firewall and you're driving your car, the engine move back and forth on the engine mount, right? But the part that's connected to the firewall, it stays put, it stays still. So what's happening? What's happening is when the engine is moving on the engine mount, it kind of keeps pulling on that ground wire. It keeps pulling on that ground wire, and I guess eventually it snapped and broke. You know what I'm saying? Thank goodness it left a little piece for me to attach to this, this ring terminal. I'm glad for that. You know what I'm saying? So that's the other thing I had to deal with, and it was a pain in the butt. Hey, my brother-in-law, no cap, he's the one who recommended. He gave me a pro tip. He said, hey, you don't even gotta connect, because I was gonna connect a bunch of wires, you know what I'm saying, black ground wires together for it to reach back to the firewall. That's what I was gonna do. Connect a bunch of ground wire and connect it back to the firewall. But then my brother-in-law gave me a pro tip. He said, nah, bro, you ain't even got to do all of that. He said, hey, you see how you got a little bit from the other side of the split butt connector? All you got to do is get a ring terminal. You know what I'm saying? Get the correct size ring terminal and then bolt it on the engine. So this is the closest spot that I can find to bolt it on the engine without the wire, stretching, without adding any wire or anything. This is the closest that I can, I can do that. I can. So I grounded it to the engine, right? And then I replaced the ring terminal for this, like I showed y'all. And then the clamp for here, I had to replace. Went to pull apart, and I got another one. So what happens is, when this broke and this had a little gap on it, that was basically bypassing air. It was passing the mass airflow sensor, which is here. It was passing that. You know what I'm saying? Causing the computer to get confused with the fuel to air ratio. So this is a definite, I had to change that, you know what I'm saying? So this is basically all that I've changed on a Taurus so far. Yeah, it's been a lot of work. The reason it took so long for me to get to it is because it's been raining and raining and raining and raining like crazy for like 2 months straight, no cap. So we're gonna go in the cabin, crank it up so y'all can hear what it sounds like. I do apologize for all the background noises. Because I am unfortunate right now to have a house, which I'm working on my credit and working on saving up some money for the down payment. Working on it. But while I'm working on it, I'm basically stuck working on the car outside in the public, because I reside in a apartment complex. You know what I'm saying? And in the apartment complex, you already know, street parking. Let's crank it up and see how healthy she be. Nah, man. Yeah, I know it looks like the cluster is kind of flashing and stuff, but it's not. I guess that's what happens when you record in true 4K, huh? Alright. So let's crank it up. Okay, so the e-brake light is on because I have the e-brake on. The seatbelt light is on because I ain't got my seatbelt on. And the engine light came back on. Check engine light came back on. But look at the RPMs. It ain't too far under 1,000 RPMs. It ain't too far. Mind you, the engine is still cold. All right, we're gonna take it on a quick drive. She sounds smooth. She feels smooth. Oh, also at the same time, I did all this yesterday. The wiring parts, the electrical parts, I did all that yesterday. And the battery's been disconnected for a couple of days, so I recently reconnected the batteries cables yesterday. So I'm not gonna drive the whole 20 minutes today, but I'm gonna do it in in segments. I'm gonna do it in. But the relearn process for the computer to relearn, you typically gotta drive the vehicle. I would say, they say the least amount of time is like 10 minutes, but 15 to 20 minutes is recommended. So if you can hit 30 minutes, then that'll probably be even better. But the recommended time is 20 minutes. That's the recommended time. But you don't have to do, it's up to you, but you don't have to do the 20 minutes in one shot. If you don't really have time to do 20 minutes in one shot, then you could you can split that 20 minutes up each day. So like, say, drive 5 minutes today, 5 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes the day after that, 5 minutes the day after that. That's it. Drive 5 minutes for 4 days, and that'll be your 20 minutes. Or if you want to drive 10 minutes today and 10 minutes tomorrow, that's fine. Or if you just want to drive the whole 20 minutes, then that's fine as well. Everybody's schedule is different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody does not have the same schedule. They don't. Oh, and when you're doing the computer relearn on your car, please, s'il vous plaît, please do not drive aggressively. Do not stomp on the acceleration hard like you finna race. Oh, they finally cleared this block out, huh? That road was closed because they was knocking down some buildings. But yeah, do not drive aggressively. Do not stomp on the throttle. You know what I'm saying? Like you're auditioning for the Fast and Furious movie. Do not hit the brake hard. You know what I'm saying? For that first few you know, within the relearn cycle, the relearn that the computer's doing, you don't want to drive aggressively, and you don't want to brake hard. It's very important, you know what I'm saying, that you follow these steps. Why? Because following these steps will help your computer relearn and gather data about the vehicle, the different sensors and air to fuel ratio and all that type of stuff. I'll gather data. It's going to relearn all that, so that way it can tell you, you know, exactly what's going on with your ride. Is your ride good? Is it healthy? Did it get better after replacing whatever part? Or, you know what I'm saying, like, it's going to tell you. So I'm going to put my phone to sleep. I'm going to put this camera to sleep. Like, put your phone, what you using? I'm using the S21. Hey, don't sleep on it. It's a good phone. I think the main downfall with the S21, it has a real powerful processor, but the real downfall is it likes to overheat. So if you're not using a cooling fan, you need to, you know what I'm saying, every so few minutes or whatever, you know, put the S21 to sleep, so that the processor can have some time to cool down, so that the phone don't overheat. Because if the phone overheats, just like a vehicle, the components in the phone will get damaged. So we'll be right back. I had 2 PT Cruisers. I had two PT Cruisers. I had 2 PT Cruisers. I had a 1999 Toyota Camry. I had a 99 Toyota Camry. I knew they was going to do that. The only reason she died is because when I did an oil change, I was rushing and I did not, okay, the T is capital, I did not remember to put oil on the oil filter when I was changing the oil. So y'all already know what happened. The oil filter was dry, and then the gasket ended up, you know, oil started coming out the engine. And then when the engine went to when the oil went to 0, that's when the engine locked up. And I had somebody, so I thought, who kept saying, oh, I got you, I'm gonna help you. Yeah, we're gonna get the engine unlocked. I got you. That ended up being a lie. And man, I missed my turn. That ended up being a lie. You know what I'm saying? That ended up being a lie. So I lost my Camry, 99 Camry. PT Cruiser got into an accident. And it's like every radiator I put in there, you know, just, so the people I went to, who was supposed to allegedly pull the frame back out, allegedly, and I say allegedly because they didn't, so I'm guessing they only pulled it out enough. They only pulled it out enough just to get the radiator in there, not knowing that every radiator that they put in there got scratched and busted. Oh yeah, that's what happened to my PT, my pay Cruiser. I had another PT Cruiser that I purchased. it had a cracked head gasket. I tried everything I can to try to seal it back up, and it wasn't. You know, she just couldn't stay alive. It's kind of sad, but couldn't keep her alive. All right, so we're back on this side, and yeah, so I stopped by the house, picked up some water to throw in the car so I can bring over here to the church for convention coming up. And yeah, so I think it's pointing to the starter. I believe I'm gonna have to change the starter, you know, after having all these problems with the battery cables being corroded crazy, you know what I'm saying, from the inside all the way deep in the inside. So I might have to get a new starter. Let's see. You hear that? Then she cranks up. And then she does that. I don't know what's going on. This right here keeps popping out. I don't know why it keeps popping out. But as y'all can see, this is connected to the intake manifold, right? So everything was connected how it's supposed to be. And then for some reason, this popped out. And I don't know why this keep popping out. So I might have to figure out a way to keep it in. You know what I'm saying? So she was just fine. I don't know what happened. She was fine, and then that thing popped out. How did it pop out? Why did it pop out? I don't know. But I need to figure out why it keeps popping out. All right. So now I'm gonna scan it, see what it do. Still saying the same thing. Why does this code keep popping up? And I changed the harness. It's a brand new harness, a brand new camshaft position sensors on there. But this code keep popping up. I don't know what's going on, y'all. I really don't. After popping it back in, the car cranks right up like ain't nothing going on with it. So I'm gonna end this video